If you really want to wake up your 2019 or newer Silverado or Sierra 1500's 5.3 liter that has the factory dual exhaust, this Borla S-Type dual rear exit exhaust system with the carbon fiber tips is a system that you want to look into. Now, jumping right into that sound clip, this gets a 4 out of 5, almost 5 out of 5 on the loudness meter, with 1 being stock and 5 being Wake the Neighbors loud, so expect to get some looks with this system with the aggressive sound profile. Now, this is definitely for the Sierra or Silverado owner who wants to hear more of a throaty V8 sound from their truck and who enjoys hearing their exhaust while driving compared to the more muted factory system. Now, with the sound profile, it also has a lot to offer with the appearance and the build, with a quality 304 stainless system that will last the long run and a quad carbon fiber tip setup that really makes this kit stand out. Now, the S-Type series is the loudest option with this model, with a super aggressive tone, a good amount of volume, and a lot of throatiness to the sound across the RPM range. Now, the system will definitely turn some heads, and like I mentioned, it's gonna be great if you'd like to hear your exhaust day to day, but it's not gonna be overbearing or annoying inside of the cab area, especially on longer drives. Now, there will be some interior noise from this system, especially when you're really getting into the throttle, but thanks to Borla's design, the system won't have any drone, eliminating any high-pitched frequencies or tones that could potentially be annoying when you're cruising. Now, in general, exhaust systems, or CapEx systems specifically, don't usually account for a big performance increase, but this will additionally help improve the flow of your exhaust system along with the rest of the construction, being a great supporting mod for your truck if you're looking to squeeze out a little bit of horsepower and torque. Now, what also makes this system stand out is the very unique dual 3.5-inch round carbon fiber tips with bright centers on each tailpipe, making for a premium and sporty look compared to the average black or polished option. This has a full 304 stainless steel construction, which is top tier in corrosion resistance, and it holds up very well even in saltier or harsher climates or conditions. This also starts with a 3-inch inlet right behind the cat and then opens up after the muffler to a true dual 2 3/4 inch outlet, dumping at the back and matching up to the factory rear bumper for a very finished appearance. Now, the sizing combination and the mandrel bent construction opens up a lot of flow, it decreases the restriction with this system, and it helps with the sound and performance of this kit. The tips are also a little different, made of a carbon fiber material with a polished center section, both being durable and eye-catching with a very unique appearance. With the quality in the materials, there's also quality in the design and the details, with the factory located and styled hangers, in addition to all of the clamps and hardware being included in the kit. Now, this system is about $2,400, being a very premium option compared to others in the category. Now, one of the major reasons for that price point is the super high quality materials that this offers, with a basically rust-proof construction no matter where you're taking your truck. Now, the sound profile is also something that not every system has, with a very aggressive and more guttural tone while keeping it clean and not being super raspy or drony, which is really where your money is going with a quality system like this. It also has a sharp and very finished look with the carbon fiber tips on the back, standing apart from the average polished or black appearance. So if you want a system that will make your truck stand out and last the long run doing it, then this is a great choice to consider. Now, install is a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter and should take about 2 hours or so in order to complete. At this point, I'm going to hand it over to one of our installers. They're going to show you a detailed breakdown on how you can bolt this up to your truck at home. So that wraps it up for what I have to say. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact and ratchet, 3/8 extension, 13 and 15 millimeter socket, 10 millimeter wrench, exhaust hanger tool, and also not shown be a lift and pull jack. All right, today we're gonna be installing an exhaust on our Sierra. First, we're gonna watch a quick video how to uninstall a stock system, then we'll come back here to install the new one.
All right guys, so we've got our truck in the air, and the first thing we're gonna do is start at the tail section, and we're gonna go ahead and unbolt this crossover pipe. So that's got a 2-bolt flange connecting it, so it's a 13 millimeter swivel socket extension on our impact. We're gonna fish that up in there, unbolt those 2 nuts, and then we can go ahead and remove the rear hanger and get this driver's side crossover tube out, and then we can move on to the rest of our system. So now we're going to come back to our tail section, and what we're going to do is remove this entire isolator. Instead of trying to get this out of the isolator, it's much easier to just go ahead and take this 15 millimeter bolt out and remove this whole assembly as one piece, and then we can take it off once it's on the ground. So we'll grab our 15 mil socket on our impact and go ahead and run that bolt out. Now we will need to support our tailpipe here while we go ahead and unbolt that. Now that we have that unbolted, we'll go ahead and unhook this from its locator and twist that down. So now we've got our driver's side tailpipe in hand, and what we're going to do is push it towards the driver's side wheel here, so to get it off of the 2 mounting studs on that flange, and then we're going to go ahead and drop it down and pull it back and go ahead and get it out. So like so. So now we can go ahead and start removing the main section of our catback. So what we're going to do is start at the ball flare clamp here at the end of our Y pipe. We're going to go ahead and loosen that up. We're going to go ahead and remove the hangers as well, moving all the way back to the tailpipe, and then go ahead and remove the other rear hanger isolator just as we showed you on the driver's side with another 15 mil bolt. We're going to go ahead and throw a pull jack under the muffler to help support the system while we do this. So now we can go ahead and grab our 13 mil socket on our impact, loosen up this clamp, get it out of the way. This off here. Now you just want to push this back far enough to where it doesn't interfere with your connection. So next we're going to go ahead and remove this hanger from the isolator. So we've got our hanger removal tool. We'll go ahead and pop that out. So now we've come to the rear of our system, and just like the other side, we're going to go ahead and pop this rear hanger isolator off, and then go ahead and remove the 2 mid hangers at the muffler, and then go ahead and remove our system. So we've got our 15 mil socket on our ratchet. We'll go ahead and pop this off, work our way up to the middle 2 hangers, and then go ahead and pop those off. Got that out. Go ahead and remove that from its locator so it's out of the way. We can even take that all the way off right now. So now we've got our hanger removal tool. We'll go ahead and get these 2 muffler hangers off. And we've also got an extra set of hands. This is going to be very helpful to get this system off, as it needs to kind of finagle around the differential and the cross member up front. Now you want to make sure you are supporting your system as you remove this last hanger. We'll go ahead and lower our pull jack. Get that out of the way. Then we'll have to slide our system to the side. Let's get it down. So now we're going to have to bring our system back a hair. want to make sure you don't catch it on any lines or anything like that. So once you get your mid-pipe flange across your cross member, you can start to go back forward. Drop the front of your system down. And go ahead and feed your system out. So now that we have everything off, we'll go ahead and pull this last rear hanger isolator off from our driver's side one that we set aside earlier. So we'll just go ahead and pop that right off and go ahead and set it aside.
All right, now for our factory tip here, we do have to remove this because our new exhaust has tips built in. So there are 3 10mm bolts holding the back side of this. It's pretty tight, so we're gonna be using a 10mm ratcheting wrench to get through the back side. So we're on the back side of our bumper here. On the top, you're gonna see 1 10mm bolt. We're gonna get that off using our ratcheting wrench. Get that loose and off. Now that one's out of the way, we can actually pull down a little bit. Now you're gonna see one through here. Ours is missing on the other side, so we're just gonna have this one left here. I'm gonna take my ratcheting wrench and loosen that nut up in here. Probably not gonna be able to see this because it is jammed in between that frame here. See if we can get that out by hand. Now, like I said, you would have to take the other one out on the other side there. Since we're missing ours, just gonna remove this all together. So as you can see, we have the 2 up top here. There's the one we're missing, and then the one that goes on the back side. So go ahead and remove all this, do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna start with our front pipe here. We're gonna get this over our cross member to our factory clamp and into our isolator right here. So slide that in. You can just let that rest here. I'm gonna get a pull jack to help hold this up, and we can go get our muffler on. So next we're gonna get our muffler on. I already have one of our clamps rested over. We're gonna get this over our inlet pipe. Let that sit there so we can get our Y pipe on. Now we have our Y section. Now I have our second largest clamp over here. We're gonna get this over our muffler first and then into our 2 isolators. So slide this on and then line this all up. Just make sure it's seated all the way, and we can continue on with the rest. So continuing along on the passenger side, I have one of our smaller clamps just resting over our pipe. I'm gonna grab our hanger that we took off, just let that rest over. We're gonna slide this over our Y pipe, and we can go ahead and get our hanger just in place, and then thread in our 15mm bolt. Now on our driver's side, it's a 2-piece after the Y, so we're gonna get our long angle piece up here. We already have one of our clamps resting over. Just get this slid into our Y pipe, let that rest there, and we'll go ahead and get our second half on. Now for our second section, I have our last of our regular clamps on there and our hanger that we took off. So slide this over our pipe there, and then grab our bolt that we took out for our hanger and just loosely install that up here. Thread that in. Now we're gonna go ahead and start tightening everything up, starting at the front, working our way backwards. At the front here, we'll grab our impact 13mm socket, tighten our front ball flange down. Now moving further back, we have our clamps on the front and back of our muffler. Now our regular clamps are gonna be 15mm, so we'll get them aligned, grab our impact 15mm socket, tighten these down. So on our Y section, we have our next 2 clamps, one here for the driver's side, one here for the passenger. Same thing, impact and 15. We have our last regular clamp here on the driver's side. We're gonna do the same thing, impact and 15. Now from here on, it's gonna be the same for either side. We're gonna grab our ratchet 15mm socket and tighten down our hanger. Now for our tip, we're gonna have a ball flange clamp. Now it's gonna rest over our tailpipe there. We're gonna grab our impact 13mm socket, snug that up. Once it's snug, you'll be able to adjust it to where you want, and then go ahead and tighten down all the way. Now you can go ahead and repeat those same steps on the other side of the truck. And that wraps up our install of our Borla S-Type dual exhaust system with carbon fiber tips for a rear exit of our 2019 and newer 5.3-liter Silverado and Sierra 1500 with factory dual exhaust. And remember, for everything Sierra, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.